Grab a seat, grab a pencil. Class is in session. Today we're talking about what a filibuster is. And the reason why is because it is a word that has floated about in recent months, but Donald Trump is about to ramp up his conversation about it. This evening, March 28th, 2026, at 6:15 p.m. East Coast time, Donald Trump took to Truth Social where he stated, "It is time for the Senate filibuster to end. Those weak and ineffective Republicans senators," which is not proper grammar, "that stand in the way of this should be exposed to the public. The Democrats are crazy." All of this sounds like the ramblings of an insane king, but there's more to it, because what he has his eye on is ending the filibuster, a Senate rule that is in place, and the House of Representatives doesn't have this. Let's talk about what a filibuster is, why he wants it to end, and why ending it would be Republican political suicide. In the Senate, there are 100 senators. Sometimes these are referred to as seats, and this is the current structure. So as of March 28th, 2026, we currently have 53 Republicans, which makes up the majority, 45 Democrats, and 2 independents. And here's how laws are passed. You have a bill that comes to the Senate. The Senate then debates upon that bill. So you have a period of time where any senator can get up and have a conversation, debate at the podium about whether or not the bill should pass. Now, here's the filibuster. This is the rule that is unique to the Senate of the United States of America. See, in order to vote, debate has to stop. But debate only stops when 60% of senators agree that they are done talking. That means 60 out of 100 senators have to agree no one has anything else to say. And as you can see in the Senate layout behind me, neither party has 60 senators. So this is a way that forces the Senate to work together, to work across the aisle, and to really think about, is this bill, if it is passed into law, going to benefit the American people? It quite literally forces them to work together. So what happens if you don't have 60 senators saying the debate is over? Well, that's where the filibuster comes in. The debate continues and continues and continues until you do, in fact, have 60 senators who are ready to stop discussing and start voting. So as an example, if you have 51 senators who are saying, yes, we're ready to stop debating and start voting, it still doesn't matter. You still need 9 more to agree. So the debate continues, and the bill essentially stalls. So why is Donald Trump all of a sudden talking about the filibuster, and why will we expect to continue to see him talk about it more and more? Because he wants to pass the SAVE Act prior to the midterms, or as he calls it, the Save America Act. You know, the piece of legislation that, if passed into law, would require all Americans to have government-issued photo ID in order to vote, which you have to pay for, which is a poll tax, and that's unconstitutional. Donald Trump wants to end the filibuster because there are not 60 senators who are going to say yes. And I think Hamilton, the musical, explains this very well.
You don't have the votes. You don't have the votes. You're gonna need congressional approval and you don't have the votes. Such a blunder. Sometimes it makes me wonder why I even bring the thunder. Why he even brings the thunder.
And that's what it comes down to. Donald Trump simply doesn't have enough Republican votes to hit that 60 mark. 60 votes to end the debate, and then 60 votes to pass the bill off to him, his desk, where he signs it into law. It just isn't going to happen, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon, because you have Republican senators talking about the experiences of their constituents in their rural communities. Take a red state like Alaska, you would have to literally fly, in some cases, from one town to another to acquire your passport. Think about the cost, the logistics, all of those things. It's not fair or legal to not just Democrats, but to Republican voters as well. The other reason the Republicans will not change this rule, will not get rid of the filibuster, which is not written into the Constitution, by the way, it is just a Senate rule. The reason they won't get rid of that rule is because in the event that the Senate turns blue, a blue majority, then that rule would still stand. And ultimately, the majority being Democrat would mean that they would pass legislation left and right and up and down, all undoing the things that Republicans have fought to do. And so they realize that it might not be right in this moment, but as the tides turn, and they will, they'll be committing political suicide.